Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Play On. My name is Candace Barrett.
I'm Rob Mackay.
And this is Pearcey. What a week of footy.
I know. I was so excited to see some under-20s, which I haven't watched in a while, in particular.
The season's definitely on, isn't it? It
definitely is.
It's here. It's arrived with a bang, and it is full on, whether you're involved yourself or just having things to watch. There's so much content. It's that time of year when everything crosses over, and there's no shortage of discussion points.
Yeah, so much footy. And look, the listeners will be very glad to hear that I actually had a game of footy on the weekend, so it was good fun.
Bravo.
Australia versus New Zealand under-20s. I'd like everyone to go back to the 26th minute. There was a fairly strenuous adjustment of one's tackle by the referee. It was a little bit too much. Some things shouldn't be on camera. Some referees should be a little bit more self-aware of what they're doing on camera.
There was an MDA, was there, on camera?
I didn't realise that Bathurst had not one but two guys in the Australian under-20s team. So lesser-known brother of Takai Whitfield, Max, is also in there with Cooper Waters. Cooper's an exceptional footballer we've seen in the Sevens program. Little Max, not as naturally gifted as his sister, some would say, but geez, he's a tough little nugget. And he's playing on the wing too. He's a halfback, but playing on the wing. So we've seen that before.
Yes, the hybrid play is alive and well.
Who was the Austin Healy? Was the Lions halfback who ended up playing a lot of time on the wing in that tour.
I think they wanted him as far away from everyone else as possible.
Yeah. The referees went, that
was
idiot,
he a bit chatty?
shut him up.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, he's now a professional pundit, and he is one of the reasons the mute button gets a lot of use. He's very polarising.
And happy Star Wars Day yesterday, Rob. What did you do on the weekend, Rob? I love this shirt.
So I got to say, in about three-quarters of the world, it is still May the 4th, so as we record. So I thought I should keep this on because we're a global sport and we're in global time zones. So my weekend, well, it as I said, it hit with a bang. So 3 middles, 3 mods, well and truly cooked by Sunday night. Had a rest day yesterday, so I got a bit of paperwork to do for 3 moddings that I did. Running around, I was at Mackay Oval on Saturday. We had mental health rounds, so I was wearing odd socks all weekend.
So was I. Must have missed you.
Wearing odd socks or at Mackay Oval?
It's a great initiative.
Mackay Oval.
Well, there you go. Lucky. Just lucky.
There you go.
What a great initiative, the odd socks round.
Yeah, there was one guy that I had that was wearing short right socks and then one long one to make it extra obvious.
Was he running around in circles?
I almost did that on Sunday. I had to borrow one of Lewis's socks to make up my sock balance, and get a neutral one. Otherwise, the teams I was refereeing might have been a little bit upset. But I forgot one of the mental health round socks from a couple of years ago. They're made for kangaroos. They're really long and they're really narrow. It took me about 10 minutes to get each of the bloody things.
Were they the blue?
The
blue Baccia ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a pair of them. They were really hard to get on. Good compression socks.
I do not know who they were designed for.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I remember Nathan Sharp used to fit them because he had no calves.
Oh, I couldn't get them over my foot.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, I did a schoolboy game up in Orange and I was very excited. So I was watching the Waratahs, let's not talk about that, on Friday night. But I did hear my good friend Leck in the TMO box a little bit. And I can't imagine he got out of there much before midnight. And yet there he was in Orange on Saturday morning. I got to see the great man in Orange. I haven't seen Leck for years. And it was bloody great to see him. He's reverse aging. He's Benjamin Buttoning. He's looking $1 million.
Trinity playing Kinross, were they?
Trinity, Kinross and Scots All Saints College had some trial matches. The first played Trinity Kinross first, but Trinity thirds, I think it was, played Scots All Saints first. I reffed that one. Great game, really tight tussle. 2 really disciplined
and these are proper
teams,
schoolboys,
just having a good
rugby.
crack. I really enjoyed it. The Trinity coach was out of Joburg. Andrea, lovely fella, had the boys really well drilled. The Scots All Saints College guys was my mate out of North America. He's learned his rugby very well finally. So, it was good.
Finally. That sounds like a great weekend.
Yeah, I had a schools trial as well, Pearcey. I had a first 15 against a fourth 15.
Yep.
And the fourths put 60 on them.
Yeah.
So that was a bit sad. A once great rugby powerhouse is now not so much, and they have to go up against the fourth of a.
We were talking
rugby,
how challenging that is to find that balance in these trial games, because there is some inequity there. We all know that, and it's not consistent year on year. Sometimes they get like Scott's All Saints won my game on the back of a pretty talented kid who's not played much rugby union, but has played an awful lot of rugby league and is just a great ball carrier.
Yeah.
Carving up out wide. So it's a real challenge.
Lots of different
He
athletes.
won't be there next year. Yeah, exactly. That's great. And lots of different, not quite so athletes.
Yeah.
There was a kid in my game who plays a bit of league, and he was trying to do weasel strips. Going, geez, I've seen that somewhere before. And then towards the end of the game, I ended up running a scrum session on field because that's the sort of game it was, right? I looked across, I saw a bloke, like, looks a bit like Drew Mitchell, but I don't think it's Drew Mitchell. I'd seen Drew the night before at the Tars game. Anyway, I was talking to the coach afterwards, and the kid doing the weasel strip was Kurtley Bill's nephew. And it was Drew Mitchell, and it was Kurtley Bill next to him.
So great.
They were catching up after the Force Tars game,
Yep.
and it was just around the corner. So they came along and watched Kurtley's nephew play, who played pretty well, actually. He was a cheeky bugger, a good footballer.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, I know, right?
Would have known.
All right, so we probably need to get into it because there's a lot to talk about, isn't there?
Yeah, lots to
Yes,
talk
there
about.
is.
So do you want to go on to Harvey Norman? Candace, tell us about that.
I just got this through a newsletter. So Harvey Norman are doing some sponsorship stuff through Rugby Australia, and you can nominate each month whether it's a coach, match official, or club person of the month. So just wanted to shout out that you can do this and just look out for it if you find there's someone in your community that you can vote for. So yeah, there was the match official was from West Australia this past month.
Nationwide? That's a great idea.
Yeah. And then even in Cowra, the club person was nominated as well. So lots of different
even in
areas.
Cowra.
Even in Cowra.
I'm pleased to inform you I'm off to Cowra this weekend.
Woo.
Say hello to the fam for me. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, look out for that, guys, if you find that there's someone in your community that you can vote for. So yeah, I want to shout out about that.
Yeah, it's a great initiative. Thank you, Harvey Norman. We had a weekend off of Women's Six Nations, did we? We got one again this weekend?
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
Back this
There's
weekend.
a bit of a break.
That'd be great.
And we'll go through that later on in the pod with some exciting golden whistles and appointments. So look out and stay tuned for that.
And I'm trying to keep up with my rugby viewing. I do see some of the under-20s games in my stand feed. There's been a lot of footy in there, so I haven't quite gotten through them. But not surprisingly, the South Africans gave us a touch-up. I think that was yesterday, was it?
And yeah, we'll come to that in a minute. Yeah, there's a story behind that. So, and that continues this weekend. New Zealand play South Africa, and I think that's going to be a bit of a touch-up as well for the home team. Ella's in the middle for that. But again, we'll come back to that. But yes, it's a good initiative, the TRC under-20s. We need it because the under-26 Nations has been going for a while, and that really helps feed into the World Champs, and we haven't had that.
Definitely.
So, really smart. So well done. Caught up with Dan Botha on the weekend. He's currently serving a suspension for a clean out in the Crusaders game. So we got the old 4-2-1, 4 weeks entry, cut to 2, 1 with tackle school. I do remember seeing it live and thought, they might look at this, and they didn't. I thought, okay, good. But it was only the helicopter shot at the new stadium. But as it turned out, they cited him and he got called in and done. He was really upset about it. Because it's one of those clean-outs on the ground. You go really low. The guy's low on the ground. Just as he's going in, the guy's dropped. So he's clocked him. And he said, look, there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And that's actually a part of the game that I think we've got to do something about, because and we've talked about this before, we're getting lower and lower and lower. I mean, the old shoulders below hips. I mean, it's written in law.
Yeah, we're already,
And we're not doing it. So, and I don't know how we back out of that tunnel that we're in, because it's going to be really hard to manage if we do something quite different. It's going to change the game dramatically if we enforce that.
And yet, I think Dan's comment is it's not fair on him either. Like, the guy's down there. If we're allowing him down there and we are trying to promote a contest, the contest requires him to be hit. If we're allowing him down there, that is what a contest looks like. To bring them back up to a reasonable height, that's going to take some really ugly sanctioning. There's no other way around it, in my opinion, and no one wants that.
No.
So a bit of a come to Jesus moment for the coaches. If you want ugly ball, that's what you need to keep doing.
And that might be the sort of thing that we have to do in a closed trial somewhere. So, like, maybe the TRC under-20s or an age grade trial, just somewhere to give it a crack and see how it works.
It's a really challenging one because I actually don't know who the people in this one are, but back when I was doing it, we had a comp referee delegate who used to go to the teams, and I've spoken that a couple of the Australian teams are very low at the breakdown, to tap them on the shoulder and say, there's two choices here. Bring it up or we bash you with it. And if you're trying to keep your crowds like that, for me, the Waratahs on Saturday night, Friday night, they're a really tough team to support. I am dyed in the wool blue, but they are very tough to watch. And to bring them back up and play attractive footy, yes, we want them to win, but probably more importantly, I wanted to play attractive footy. They looked a bit scared on Friday night. They just looked fearful in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, the tackle height thing's interesting, Pearcey. I don't think there's any one particular team doing it. It's everybody, because that's the way the game's evolved. So it's a game-wide issue that we've got. And the Dan issue is just an example.
I watched the Hurricanes game in full. I've called them out. I think they're going to win the comp. They're higher. They are notably higher at the breakdown, and they want the contest high because they got good, Duplessis. Wow, what a strong dude. And he's hitting him high. Their tackle height's a foot higher than every other team at the moment, and it's actually reaping rewards. They're getting fast ball. Cam Roygarden, holy smokes. Who'd they play? I can't remember who they played. The opposition halfback did a good snipe too. Crusaders, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that was a great game of footy, and they are playing attractive footy. Even if they weren't winning, I'd be watching them. Not my favourite New Zealand team. I'm watching the full 80 minutes rather than the highlights package.
No, I hear you, Pearcey. There's a lot of truth in that. So yeah, there's a challenge for us. Going back to World Rugby and IMG, the International Management Group, which has been in sport for years and years. Mark McCormack founded that. They're partnering on the commercials for the Rugby World Cup in the US, the two there, in 31 and 33. So they're laying the groundwork now for the commercial foundations. That's a really good sign, because if they get that right, they might actually set rugby off to the next level in the US, which...
Dare I say penetrate?
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff happening there that's not great, and they need to fix it pretty quickly. So, but if they get it right, it will be
what a tremendous opportunity. We've spoken of that untapped giant many times, and I think it'd be great.
The Champions and Challenge Cup semi-finals have been run and won, so the finals are coming up in Spain in a couple of weeks' time. So that's very, very exciting. So watch out for that.
And I did see the Indian Premier League has had their auction complete.
Season 2.
It was a bit of a fizzer. It was a fizzer last year, wasn't it? I didn't watch much of it because it wasn't available to us. I didn't hear anything great from it.
I think it was on YouTube. I can't remember where we watched it, but the fact that they've gone around again and they've now got a women's comp means there's clearly some sort of commercial desire there. HSBC is sponsoring it.
Yeah, well,
so
throw their money at willy-nilly.
I'm guessing it helps bridge that gap, because the Sevens, World Series Sevens, whatever it's called now, is truncated, and there's a big
That
big
means shortened,
gap.
folks.
It's only a $2 word,
Translation.
isn't it? So there's a big gap.
Yeah, and it does fill a gap. It just I couldn't even watch it. I did see some clips of it later.
Yeah,
they played 4-minute quarters, if I remember correctly. I don't know what they're doing this year. We'll get to that closer, but that's 16th to the 28th of June in Hyderabad. So maybe watch some cricket while we're there.
Yeah. Steamy for football in Hyderabad.
Doesn't matter what time of year. Absolutely. Segueing into Super Rugby, you started talking about the Waratahs in force.
I presume this is your notes here, Rob. Worst spectacle in a long time.
It was.
Oh, bless.
Fair.
It was fair.
They are a hard team to love.
It was just we were at the game.
Yeah.
And the engagement level of the ground was subterranean, because it was just a punish, an absolute punish. We didn't even stay around for post-match. We went, we've got to get out of here. Yeah. There's nothing redeemable. There's nothing the teams can say to us to make us feel better.
I think I've spoken about one of the real surreal points of my refereeing career was a similar game back in, I think it was 2009. Heinrich Rousseau went to town on the Waratahs on a drizzly night. We had about 16,000 people in there.
Was that the Cheetahs?
Waratahs Cheetahs, yeah. I reffed that game. And
I was there.
I'm a lifelong Waratahs fan, and Dean Mum was captain that day, and I went to him 50 minutes in and said, mate, next one goes to the bin. And he said, can it be me?
Yes.
It was just such a surreal night. And I am having a cracker of a game. Heinrich Brasseau is playing the house down. The Cheetahs are playing sensational footy. The Waratahs are almost going with them. They weren't in the game that night, but the crowd was just walking out in droves, and it was just such a surreal experience for referee. And like I said, the Waratahs, you are a hard team to love. I will continue to love you, but be better, please. They look like a team that's full of fear, full of stress,
they look
and
like
not playing with freedom.
They're just the backs.
They're not
have
connecting
no shape,
very well.
no fluidity. Oh, we've got some of the best athletes in the game in our back.
Let's speak about some of the athleticism. Joseph Akuso-Suaalii off the kickoff. Wow.
Yeah.
Gets up that high over a lifting pod, catches the ball, lands on his face.
Yeah, I know, right?
Not his face. No.
Don't worry about
not the money maker.
Yeah, exactly right.
I saw him in person the other week when I was running, and I was like, oh, hello.
If you were to go through and match a SWAT for what the Waratahs bring and what the Force had, if you were the Waratahs, you would think, get a big, fast, athletic bloke in space against their old, can't move laterally defender that was marking him, Bridge. How many times did that happen? None. That's the game plan.
I think we found the new attacks coach. There you go, Pearcey.
Yeah. I did love Sid Harvey got a shot 45 metres out, and it's within range, but you could tell Sid was a little bit itchy about trying to sneak the tee up, and Gussie was hilarious. Not my first rodeo, son. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
That
was probably the highlight of the night, to be fair.
It was hilarious, yeah.
Oh, that and the reserve prop for the Tars coming on. Great story, 32 years old, making his debut off the bench.
Yes. Yeah, that was great.
That's a great story. And, he drives up from Wollongong. He's run out of leave. He's a carer of some sort. I think he might be a nurse. Yeah, it's just one of those Cinderella stories, and the joy for him. He plays at Norths, and the genuine joy and love for his effort. And he did well too. He got a scrum penalty early, if I remember correctly. So that was the highlight of the night.
And it was, and he had a tribe of people in the stands that were cheering for him. So that was fantastic.
Yeah.
No, that was awesome. But for me, it was a pretty frustrating game.
Yeah. There was lots of chat amongst the diehards about just how shit it was.
If you want to watch a good game, Hurricanes Crusaders. That was sensational. Was that Jimmy? I think it was Jimmy Dolman refereeing, was it? I should remember
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, had a good game. Had a really good game. Tackle height was high, which I thought the Crusaders have been one of the offenders of low breakdown. Goes to show they can do it. And that it was a pretty tight game for most of the game.
Yes, it was.
We didn't go to extra time there, but it was a 7-point margin, and it could have gone to extra time.
Yeah.
Because we did have an extra time game. Was that the...
Well, we had two in 2 weeks.
There was one last week.
Yeah, and one the week before. So
who was the one last week? That's really poor research from me.
The week before that was Chiefs
Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes lost. Yep.
Yes, and then it was Blues and Reds, and the Reds lost.
Yep. The Reds Brumbies games. Did you watch that one?
Yeah, that wasn't a bad game.
That was a pretty good game, I thought.
Yeah, that was worth watching.
I only got through some highlights.
Oh, I wanted to watch that because that was always going to be on, and it was on. And Queensland kicked more penalty goals in that match, I reckon, they've kicked the last 3 years. And that essentially was the difference in the game. There was a lot of rain at one point, so they went and played
brutal
test
weather.
match style. Yeah, Queensland deluge. The funniest thing I saw was the Brumbies obviously had some issues with their bench in the forward pack. And so they had Caden Neville, Lockie Shaw, and Nick Frost all on at the same time. Now, if you want to have a looking up moment, they are three very big humans.
Yep.
And I think Nick Frost is the tallest of the three. He's about 6'10" in the old Canadce, and he was playing blindside.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
It's not surprising they won their lineouts while that was on the field.
Yeah, he'll definitely be able to cover blindside.
He just sticks out his arm, and that's the 15-meter channel.
That was good. It was a good game of footy. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
In some challenging conditions, which it's always interesting. I actually quite enjoyed the Moana Blues game as well. I did enjoy.
Did we see the classic?
The double line-out lift?
Yes.
They actually scored from as well.
Yeah.
Emulated the Springboks.
Yeah, and the South African schoolboys. But the Blues weren't smart. They didn't count it properly.
Oh, no, it was not very good at all.
And Moana have got a fair bit to play for. They've only got a number of games left.
I think it was good little trick play. I think might as well throw as much as you can out there in the last few rounds, considering the bad news that they won't be having the funds.
Yeah, it's a shame. I've actually really enjoyed having Moana in the comp.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to see them having a real crack in their last few games. So well done, Moana.
They haven't been set up for success, though, have they? So they've got to fix the structural issues. If someone comes in to fund it, which there is talk of, they've got to fix how they do it, because unlike the Drua, they don't really have a home base. They're meant to be connected to Samoa and Tonga. They're not. They're based in Auckland, which has a diaspora for sure.
You're going to have to tell me what that means.
A large expat community of Tongans and Samoans.
Yes.
But the secret to the success of the Drua is their home games. Hardest place to win in Super Rugby. So how do you make that work in Samoa and Tonga when the facilities aren't there, the populations are smaller? So it's a real conundrum.
I think Moana are onto something, though, that Pacifica, the Pacifica model out of New Zealand, I think it can work. And in practice, the reason the Drua are working is Fiji do have a little bit of corporate structure within Ireland. Tonga, Samoa don't really.
Well, there's also funding from certain bodies, including Australia. The Australian government fund a lot of the Drua, and World Rugby, I think, write some checks.
Yeah, and if you look at particularly Tonga and Samoa, it's not a blue flag that funds it; it's a red flag. So there's not as much rugby backing there.
Well, that's right.
Geez, have I just gone into world politics? Let's move on. I'm a bit worried about who I might have just offended.
And there's some rugby league money flowing in as well. So got to play that game a bit smarter, because it's going to need some funding to get going.
Personally, I don't think it's going to happen in Tonga and Samoa. I think it celebrate Tongan and Samoan rugby, but perhaps base it in New Zealand. Perhaps have a floating team that plays to the expat community. I think there's some merit in it.
Yeah, they just got to get it right, and that's my point, right? It's not working now, so
and it worked with Artie in the team. You need that Flagstaff player.
Yeah, and they're always going to struggle with him gone, because he's so talismanic, right? So, but you can't rely on one player like that. You've got to have a structure.
Well, you can if it's Artie.
You know how last week we brought up about the maul, not maul, and it was Nick Berry refereeing. Wasn't it Nick Berry refereeing this match versus Moana versus Blues?
Yes. Yep. Yes, he was.
So I bet he was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Why are these people playing these maul games with me?
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think I enjoyed how versatile he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said, Nick Berry's no good with them all. Right, let's exploit it. Well, he is good with them all.
Yes.
And he did really well,
but
actually.
But after last week, he could have been a bit gun shy, so well done.
Yeah, that's right. So he would have had some homework, no doubt. Shall we go to some under-20 stuff?
Yeah, some under-20s.
Absolutely.
So we had Australia versus New Zealand versus round 1.
Yes. And we didn't talk about that last week because it was unravelling while we were recording, essentially. Australia dominated that game, but were let down by some yellow and red cards. And the red card they got, the judiciary found it didn't meet the red card threshold. So Waters is free to play this week. And while he was in the bin, I think South Africa scored 2, if not 3 tries.
Wow.
Well, not in the bin, while he was in that 20-minute window. So that was a high-impact decision. And there was a similar
And who was refereeing
incident
that game?
That was one of the South African guys.
Okay.
Whose name eludes me. Yeah, high impact decisions. And then what the referee sees and what the judiciary sees. So there's a whole bunch of things at play there.
And just remembering we don't have the depth of foul play review at the 20s champs as what we do in some of the tests. So it's understandable they didn't quite get the same review.
Yeah, it's next level down. So and look, it's a learning tournament for match officials as much as it is for the players. So, but I know the Australians were frustrated by that, but it was just too much. So that they ended up losing quite narrowly to a team that they looked like they dominated. So,
do you remember what the situation was exactly? Because I didn't get to see that. Do you remember what the situation was that happened?
Yeah, it was a clean out in a breakdown. So the Australian players come in and cleaned the South African player out. The legs went above horizontal, absolutely. To me, it looked like there were some mitigating factors because of the bodies on the ground, etc. So
live viewing, I thought yellow. I got to say, live viewing.
Yeah, me too.
And on replay, I thought, oh gosh, that is pretty bad. Didn't look like red to me.
No, I didn't think so either. And then the flip side to that, there was a similar one at the other end of the field that was, I think it was even a play on, maybe.
Yeah,
that's where the frustration
Got it.
sometimes
Okay.
comes when you don't have
Two
that
similar scenarios.
consistency. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
but it really is a strong argument for the 20-minute red because
yeah,
you know,
100%.
the impact if he had stayed off for the whole game, the remainder of the game would have been substantial.
Yeah, although as it turned out, it was just enough. And then there was another yellow to compound it. So Australia were playing 13 at one point. So
And look, I thought the second yellow was pretty poor discipline from Australia. They clearly had been distracted by that yellow red
in the first round, Pearcey.
Yeah.
And that was the 9 not rolling.
For me, it was a definite another yellow based on the sequence. For me, the Australians actually reacted poorly to it, and it's challenging at the best of times. But the good teams, the ones that win, they cop it on the chin, and they keep playing the type of footy they want. The discipline doesn't come back because they've lost a yellow card.
Yeah, look, again, I think it'll come back to, well, what's the picture of the breakdown? Is that how that breakdown's been treated throughout the game? Probably not.
We know the South African referees can sometimes be a little bit erratic with those decisions. They always have been. It's not a criticism. That's how they referee.
Yeah.
They don't tend to have that same, situation event 1 comparison to situation event 2 that we have always taught our refs to. They tend to judge every situation on its own merits as a standalone. We tend to have that one look like
at
that
the
one
whole
mindset.
picture
We've always
from
done that.
start to finish versus
parity.
them in silos.
Yeah.
Interesting. Next match is South Africa versus Australia, guys, which was refereed by Gonzalo de Archivel, which I've now know he's from Argentina, which is beautiful.
I just looked him up, and it tells me that he is off to the Tournament de Juvenile.
That doesn't
The
sound.
tournament for juveniles.
Oh no, God.
I haven't watched this game, so you guys are going to have to lead this one.
Well, there was lots that happened in this match in particular. So 15 minutes in, there was a high tackle by Gold. It was deemed to be too high. So on field, the referee called it as time off, which was quite good because I think at that point, they just weren't sure because they're doing the sternum high tackle in this under-20s tournament. So it was really interesting because the way the referee described it to Australia was like, we're all trying to adapt to this new law trial as well. So he's also, as a referee, adapting to it as well as the players. And there seems to be a lot of high tackles. And yeah, after review, there was head on head with that. But because the player with the ball was stepping, they mitigated it. So it was just a yellow with that one. So, but I just quite liked how Gonzalo took his time with going through the process, not just being really reactive with it.
Yeah, he was really calm, and it was interesting watching it, Candace, because in real time it looked fairly innocuous. He was always vertical, but it just looked like we'd see a lot of those tackles in every game that we referee, right?
Yeah.
But he called it up anyway. So I think it was going to be a yellow card by hook or by crook because the Australians had 4 above sternum tackles, so they were on repeat offences, and then went to Timo on a formal review, and they had the head contact with the mitigation. So yeah, like they're just got to be better.
Yeah,
they know how to tackle below sternum. So I actually thought that was a really good process.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that one. And then there was sort of like free kick, still not straight. So both teams didn't even put up a player, but then the ball went straight to them. Still needs to go down the middle, guys. Just as a reminder.
I presume if no one's gone up, then the contest at ground level, there was a contest. Nationalise it.
It's funny. I had one of those on the weekend. The reserve hooker comes on and he does this banana throw. And the banana throw lands somewhere between the 9 and the jumper who's almost horizontal trying to catch it. The other team don't contest. And I'm going, I can't let that go. That's just way outside the trials.
So, Rob, I would let that go.
Oh, man, it was so bad. It was so bad.
So, yeah, just a reminder, still throw in the middle, guys.
And the coaches, you can hear them on the side go, but there was no contest. It's like, yeah. And then he had a shot at after the game. I said, mate, there's a limit, and that's about 3 meters outside the limit.
I think in our GMGs it uses the word reasonable
and outside shoulder or inside shoulder. Yeah. So it was well past that. It was comically bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the captain from Trinity yell not straight on one of the line-out throws. I thought I'd have played on 5 years ago. I'm certainly playing on this year.
Yeah. It wasn't Leck on the sideline, was it? Sort of doing his ventriloquist dummy.
I would have known that voice.
Yeah, absolutely. It is funny seeing him turn up. I had him last year. He was running around on an under-14s game, not refereeing. He was coaching, but it was funny seeing him.
We actually we were comparing notes because his young fella was also playing there, so we both had boys playing there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh,
nice. They'd be close to the same age group too, wouldn't they?
His boy, my girl are the same age. His girl,
Yeah.
my boy are the same age, and then I think he said he had a third. So
yeah. I knew they were close. Yeah.
Sending love to my daughter, who that's why I wasn't here last
right.
week. Ended up getting the appendix out the poor doll, so she's been in the wars.
Oh,
So is she going for frequent fly points at the hospital? Is she?
My wife and I were sitting there on Friday having a conversation, saying, "Can we get one that's not broken?
Has the warranty expired?
Yeah, can we hand this one back?" She's doing well.
Look, I hope she gets well soon. Thankfully, that condition is easily treatable these days. So
yeah, it sounds like they got it out pretty well. Although there was, as usual with the Pearce household, some dilemmas there.
Of course, I hear you. All right,
bless.
So
we have a driving maul around 25 minutes, and with Australia, it collapsed, causing another yellow card, unfortunately.
Yep.
But the timing of it was maybe it elapsed basically, and even though they got a penalty try, the players took a bit more time trying to get to the kickoff. There was 2 yellows, but by the time elapsed, the other yellow card finished, so then they got their player back on. At one point, it looked as though if they were speeding things up, then they would have 2 players out, but because they took their time elapsed, and then they were able to get their other player back on. So they were just
smart
being
game
a bit
management
slow.
by the Australians. Yeah. And look, that's something to be aware of as a match official. If a team's doing that, dragging time out, give them a little hurry on. We do have limits around that, so particularly at this level. So if you can get away with it as a team, well done. As a match official, that's an awareness point. So
yeah, and I'm sure the ref 4 or 5 was on the sideline making sure that time was spot on.
One would hope.
Yes. Then we had around 33 minutes. South Africa was already under advantage, and this one was quite interesting. So Australia do a deliberate knock down, and then within that, the referee wanted to check because South Africa picked up the ball and made a try, but they just wanted to check. Did the ball go out forward before they got knocked down, before the South African player then made the try? Or you had 2 scenarios where would you give a try? Is it a yellow card only because of the knockdown, or is it a yellow card and a penalty try? So lots to look at and think about.
I thought the process was really good. I thought it did a really good job managing all the key issues, determining whether it was forward, first of all. Secondly, then determining whether the try had already been scored.
Yeah.
And going through his process, and he's pushing it back onto the team. Oh, no, that's not the right angle. I need to have the right angle to see whether it's gone forward or not. Because if it hasn't gone forward, we've got a completely different outcome.
Exactly.
Have you guys seen Mills Muliaina's review of the Hurricanes Crusaders game?
No.
There's a really interesting discussion by Mills, who I think is one of the great rugby brains, about forward passes. There's 3 really contentious calls in that Hurricanes game. All 3 of them were really bad camera angles. There's one where the 9 passed from the base of a breakdown with an adjacent line, and the camera was coming back to it. And that dynamic camera movement as the ball was passed, and it looked flat compared to the line, but then as the camera moved, it sort of made it look like it was drifting forward, and that was number 1. Then there was a try given back into the Hurricanes winger, so he offloaded out to the support player, and then the support player offloaded back into him. The camera angle was really bad for the pass, but it actually looked like the ball carrier was standing a metre behind the person who caught the pass.
Right.
And there was a really interesting discussion by Mills I'd encourage you to have a listen to.
So, yeah, where the cameras come from to determine...
That was the main centre camera that they used for that. The referee was behind play, so it wasn't a reliable call. Neither touch judge appeared to be in play to help with the call. So you are reliant on a dodgy angled camera.
So not clear and obvious play on.
And that's what they went with eventually, but gosh, it looked terrible on that camera.
Right.
And can I say, if it was the Wallabies playing, it had been called for it every day of the week. And I say that we've seen the Wallabies had tries taken off them for passes that weren't as questionable as that one.
For flatter passes, yeah. Look, I think it's an area of the game where we've got a wider tolerance than we used to.
Mm. And in practice, they'd beaten them, but the 14 had offloaded to him and hadn't put the brakes on to come back far enough. Had gained an advantage from that. So if we are going to be tight, I think it's tight on that dynamic.
Well, I guess the moral of the story is as match officials get there.
Yeah. And we have as match officials gone a little bit away from ball line running. There's an argument there to go on ball line running.
Absolutely. Yeah. Timo can't save you for everything.
Mm.
Yeah. In this case, Gonzalo deemed it as a deliberate knockdown by Australia. So gold, number 11. And then there's a probable try would have been scored. So it would end up being a penalty try for that one. But yeah, no, I liked how he slowed it down. And it makes sense what Pearcey said, like being able as a referee to recognize, oh, hey, no, is there a better angle for this? This one isn't clear. Can we slow it down here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really enjoyed how they talk through it. But yeah, unfortunately, Australia lost that one, but South Africa took advantage of the players, that little overlap. So yeah, players down made them score some more tries, basically.
Yeah, look, it's very much a deja vu for the Australians. Two games where they've been short several players and it's cost them the match. I think they're a good rugby team. If they can keep 15 on the field.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of talent in that team.
Absolutely. And they'll be frustrated by that.
And in my opinion, there's some talent in that team that will be playing in the senior team pretty soon, which is great. That's what we want to see.
I know. I was watching it. I was like, okay, so next year or when are you going to be in the roster?
It's very rare for the Australians to have a dominant under-20s. There's something about Australian rugby. We are a bit later to develop age-wise. There's only been a couple of years where we've dominated.
Yeah, this is the age group that beat the Kiwis in the 18s a couple of times. So there's some good history there and some good cattle. So they've got to get their act together and learn to play away in stranger climates with different match officials.
Yep.
And that will set them up really well for the trip to Georgia in a few short weeks, because that's going to be really challenging. But what a great fun tour that's going to be.
Yeah, and I think those tours, if you've had a bit of a challenging lead into them, sometimes the teams that have the challenges actually do perform better at the big tournaments.
Absolutely.
Free sailing doesn't make a good preparation.
No. Yeah, when the storm comes,
you need to put yourself
you're not ready.
in those difficult scenarios as well. Then you get better and learn from it.
That's a great metaphor. Can we go that again?
There you go. Next is Argentina versus New Zealand, and that was refereed by Ella Goldsmith. So well done, Ella.
Well done, Ella.
Very busy for her. There was 7 minutes in. There was a no try. Lots of sort of obstructions and players being in the way to make tackles. So it happened twice in that match. The first one happened quite early. So yeah, number 12 from Argentina was preventing a black player from making the tackles. So yeah, they're already under advantage, so then they brought it back anyway. But just wanted to share that's quite hard to see sometimes in real time, but let it play on. And then good thing she has the TMO to sweep back and look at that.
It's a really hard part of the game to officiate in real time, particularly without a TMO, because you've got the full range of sanction from yellow penalty one way to penalty the other. So you got the penalty for tackling the player without the ball through to the penalty for the obstruction by the dummy runner and everything in between. So there's lots to consider, and we've seen both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it just shows you've got to be so focused on what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And hard to read sometimes.
Yep. And staying focused is pretty hard for some of us.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's actually it's a work on for me, Pearcey.
La la la.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Someone say something?
Look, something shiny.
Bright shiny. It's shorthand in our house. Bright shiny.
I suffer from shiny object syndrome, SOS.
Yeah.
Next one was yellow card for New Zealand, so repeated infringements, which was a quite straightforward one. Another yellow card for New Zealand again, around 36 minutes due to a collapsing maul, which then resulted in a penalty try. Good on Ella for, getting her own points as well. And then again, I've mentioned before how there's obstruction that happened again at the end of the match. So 76 minutes again, a New Zealand player in the way of Argentina being able to make the tackle, which then caused this breakaway.
I'm going to just chime in. I was just I'm hearing this, having seen the first New Zealand game, and I thought, I wonder whether there's a coach that promotes that in front of the ball style attack. And I look on the New Zealand under-20 coaching staff, assistant coach Brock James. Anyone remembers Brock, he did love a player in front of him to block the defenders. So I'm not surprised to hear you say that, Ken.
Basically.
Yeah, very much so. Brock had some time in Australian footy, then went to the UK.
He did.
Didn't like contact.
No, contact optional. I'm having a bit of a giggle too because I'm just listening to this, the patterns in both games are going, this is under-20s, this is Colts rugby, this is Colts rugby 101. It is such a Colts rugby sort of behaviour. Pearcey, Canadce, we've all seen a lot of Colts rugby, and this is straight out of the behavioural pattern, just full of enthusiasm, testosterone, desire, but a bit dumb.
But getting in the way, a bit dumb.
Yeah.
Pretty
much.
And then you sanction them, they go, what did I do?
And in this case, it was two players. They're both like, oh no. Both of them were both deliberately doing it. So there you go. But Argentina won this one.
Yeah, well done, the Argies.
I can see what you mean by the links. They're very much oblivious. Very impressive.
Well, don't forget there's the other Super Rugby, Super Rugby Americas, and that's building nicely. We don't talk about it nearly as much as we probably should because there's a lot happening.
I haven't got any time to watch any more rugby, Rob. I can't even keep up with the rugby we've got.
I know,
I don't know where
right?
to look at it.
But we've got a couple of nations in Southern Europe pitching for a World Cup, and I think Argentina might be throwing their hat in the ring as well. And I think we've talked about this before. A World Cup around Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina, maybe a little bit of Chile. Bring it on. Stakes.
Let's have a quarterfinal in Brazil.
Yeah, it depends where we're going in Brazil, but yeah.
Trends and talking points.
This is my observation at community level this year, and I don't know whether there's been someone doing some coaching with a particular set of plays, but the number of times this year I've heard teams call either a Brumby play or a Gregan play. That's actually the name of the play. And I'm listening to them going, okay, well, I know what that's going to be.
Yeah, I know what that's going to be. And I'm looking at how old you are, and you weren't alive when he was playing.
Correct. I'm going, London or brick, I don't think the opposition's going to know because
halfback's going to scoot off the base across lateral and fold someone underneath them with a somewhat questionable pass.
Correct. So that's the Gregan one, although sometimes that's also the Brumby play. But the other Brumby play is the starter play out in the back line with the Sterling Mortlock, crisscross, blind runner, etc. So I just keep hearing these calls and going, oh, well, I'll just stand here because it's got to go there or there. Yeah. And the other team are going, oh, shit, what do we do? It's very funny.
I like that.
I remember talking with Rod McQueen about that play. I've got a really fast, agile halfback, and I've got some really good, strong, direct carriers. How can we use them better?
Absolutely. Yeah. Very much a student of the game, wasn't he?
He was great. One of the great rugby brains. Shout out to Rod.
Yeah, absolutely. And a very good surf boat man as well. Yeah. News way around that.
What was his book called? It was a great read, whatever it was called.
Can't remember the name of it. Worth a read, though.
Definitely worth a read.
Applicable to not just sport, but life in general.
Very much a business text as well. One Step Ahead's the name of the book.
Oh, that's a good song too. Very good song. Split Ends or is it Crowded House?
It's Split Ends.
Split Ends, I think.
It's well older than you, Candace.
I'm staying quiet. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Give us the stats, Rob. Hit me.
All right. So I've alluded to this previously, but courtesy of Opta Johnny, I'm going on a deep dive, and this is Zoe Harrison, and she is from the English women's team, Red Roses. I mentioned in one of the games she kicked 12 from 12. She's actually 15 from 15 with her place kicks, which is extraordinary. She's the only player to have not missed for anyone who's kicked more than one goal. And they have this wonderful data set, which I love, because one of my pet peeves is kicker success rates. We see kickers got a 95% success rate, another one's got 60. But there's no taking into account the fact that the guy or girl doing the 60 is kicking them all from the corner. The dude doing the 95 is kicking them from in front.
Yeah.
I could kick in the 90s from in front, right? So, but they take that into account. So they have shots at goal, shots made. Then they have expected points based on the difficulty of the kick. So she kicked 30 points, but based on the degree of difficulty, they're expecting 23.7 points. So her kick prediction success is 79%. It's 100%. So she's given her team on average an extra 6.29 points gained above expectation. And that's
of course she plays for the Red Roses. So there
who knew the points, right? But I just love that analysis. That's the sort of detail that I really get excited by.
And I'm sitting here thinking, I could go deeper. Let's go deeper.
The numbers people are getting really excited right now.
Yeah, like degree of difficulty. We see it in some areas of sport and athleticism. We don't do enough of that with kick predictors. So she's done a great job. And hats
watch
off
out, guys.
for picking
if you
up.
ever get a penalty
Good
around
stats.
that
Good
close
stats.
to their goal line, they're going to get it in.
Yeah.
So watch out. And shall we quickly do some appointments to wrap it up?
There's only one relevant one, was there? Jess Ling.
Women's Six Nations, but the first match is Italy-England. Yes.
Woo.
Jess Ling in the middle.
Well done,
Yay,
Jess.
congrats. Such great news.
Very, very excited for you, Jess. Well done.
Been a bit of a torrid road for her to get here, so well done, Jess.
Still incredibly young and was doing Super Rugby W or whatever it was called in those days. Very young age, so great run. Well done. Robbie Jenkinson and Berenice Lube are supporting her. Leo Colgan and Julien Castanede from France is foul play review. So well done to that team. Scotland and France, Amy Barrett-Theron, Amber Stamp-Dunstan, Maria Latos, Alec Griffiths and Jenny Davis. On that one, that's in Edinburgh. Italy, England's in Parma. And then the final match of the weekend is Ireland and Wales in Belfast. That'll be fun. That's almost a home game for both teams.
Yep.
So that should be a really good vibe, I reckon. And that's Aurelie Grosselot with Alexandra Ferre, Beatrice Mussi, Paulo Duarte from the Seven Circuit, our favourite Portuguese referee. He's the TMO, so good on you, Paulo. And Dan Jones, foul play review officer. Cue the line, Pearcey. Boom, boom. So they're the big ones for the weekends. So whistle well all.
Hey, I listened back to last week's pod, and you guys have come up with a fantastic segment for the Retro Ref.
Yes, and I promised to do something this week, but Star Wars Day took precedent.
Yes,
so
absolutely. I will also do something. I have got some reasonably cool old jerseys out there.
Yeah,
I did love the Super Round, getting some of the old school. I saw a photo of Patio Furniture
I really enjoyed
in
that.
his with Nick Berry.
What the nickname is?
Patio Brian, Patio Furniture.
Oh, dear me.
So yeah, we've got some great jerseys there. I've got a beautiful old 95 jersey there. I kept it. Was Gussie Erickson's.
Oh, nice. Oh, legacy.
So we'll pull them out. Great section.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, more to come on that, and that will take a few different shapes and forms, Ref Retro. So watch out for that segment coming. Do we want to do some Law of the Week?
Yes, please. I loved last week's Law of the Week.
Yes.
Let's go for this week.
Okay, so this week it's a back to basics because of our good friends at Moana. It's the definition of a maul. What is a maul?
Yes. What is a maul?
One player from each team around a ball carrier on their feet.
Yeah, absolutely.
How'd I go? Is that pretty close?
Yeah, absolutely, Pearcey. 16-2. It consists of a ball carrying at least one player from each team bound together and on their feet. Anyone would think you're reading that. So, absolutely.
I have nothing.
And, They know nothing. And it's relevant because of what Moana did with their faux line-out lift in the middle of the field that led to the try. So there's a lot to unpack there for the match official. There's a lot to unpack for the defence. How do you defend it? Where's the ball? What do you do? I think the Blues tried to tackle the ball carrier at the front, but in so doing, they didn't get the guy to ground, so we have a maul. And from then on, they were never going to go.
Yeah, they were out of the game and short on their left.
Yeah, they're buggered. Yeah. So
because the maul was moving quite dynamic towards their left, the ball carrier's right, and they couldn't fold around quick enough.
No, so
I think it was a 9, maybe a 10 got in the way, and they don't know what they're doing there. So get out of the way, little fellas.
No, so you got to get the guy at the front down to the ground quickly to make it a tackle.
Yeah, we used to call it a sack.
Yes, or a sack, a line-out sack, except not a line-out. But yes, you got to get them down quickly, and they didn't.
And you guys did a really good job of explaining the Pete Samu one the week before, because that was as confusing as hell for everyone included.
Well done,
Rob.
Rob.
Goodness, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well done, Rob. You explained it very well.
There was a lot going on there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was messy, and Pete Samu knows better. I don't know whether who's the number 5 for the Waratahs. I don't think he does know better. It's just an opportunity for some thuggery. So Miles What's his name?
Amatuzero. Yeah,
I was close.
Miles.
I was pretty close.
Yeah,
I got the first half right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he probably doesn't know the laws. Pete Samu does. So I think it was probably a mistake from Pete not to take him to ground with extreme prejudice.
Yeah, and the whole thing was messy before that. We didn't have a user and blah, blah, blah.
And Bez didn't get his bit right either, I don't think. But
No.
Yeah, having been in that situation or similar, it's okay to get it wrong. There's so much going on.
Yes, I had another team on the weekend ask me in their pre-match, what happens if we do this? And what happens if they do that? And it's like,
and look, that's
guys.
a really important topic, I think, as a referee, when you've got a team that's looking to circumvent a contest. I'm not going to reward you for the act of circumventing a contest. I'm also not going to give the other team free rein, but don't expect liberties when you are not contesting a phase. That's a really challenging message to deliver, but that's what we're trying to do. We don't want maul avoidance. We love mauls.
And if you're going to do it, be accurate. Otherwise, you'll pay the price.
Yep.
And one of the teams I said to, don't do it 5 minutes out from your line because that's just dumb.
Yeah. Risk versus reward, people.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, there's our law for the week.
And look, go back and listen to Candace's quickies. I did after that. It's a really good explanation on the basics of them all, the fundamentals. You can't have fundamentals without having some fun.
There you go.
That's a bit mental, Pearcey.
I love it.
So, shall we finish up with a golden whistle, which was linked to our appointments?
I love that. It's linked to our appointments.
Oh, very good. That rings a bell.
Yeah.
So,
well-deserved golden whistle for Jess Ling. Congratulations, Jess. Woo! Extremely happy for you.
Absolutely.
Love this.
Could not agree more. Yeah.
Give us a hoy once you've done it. We'd love you on the podcast.
Yep, absolutely. You know where to find us.
Woo. Well, that's it for this week, guys. Thank you
Candace,
all for listening.
you were bloody fantastic, despite some construction noise in the background. Rob?
Oh, my goodness.
I thought you were okay. I was pretty average. It's amazing what happens when you take a week off. Your form's right out the window.
Pearcey, you're almost as good as you were last week.
I thought I was better last week than this week. It's good to be back at footy, though. Like, how good is it?
How good? When too much footy is never enough.
See you later.
Jouer.